live. Looks like we're live. So welcome to anyone who came from Bob the Canadian's channel. This was mislabeled. I mislabeled this. It was originally 8:35 p.m. and then when I finished in Bob the Canadian's chat, I looked here and it said it was in 12 hours. So I obviously messed up, and we're doing it at a slightly different time, about 4 hours earlier than normal. So there will probably be fewer people in here, which might be good because you might be able to ask more questions. But some people are here on such short notice. Thank you, Vyacheslav. Thank you, Dennis. Both from Russia, maybe? I know Dennis is. But Mr. Brewer, I'm not sure if you are from Russia. Where are you from, if you don't mind putting in the chat? I try to remember certain countries, where people are from. And if this is your first time here, you might want to hit the old subscribe button. It's that picture. And then after this live chat, which will go for about an hour, there is the premiere of a video, and that video is Luis. How are you? Yeah, I'm sorry, Raphael. It's a mess. It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be now. That was the plan. And then when I made the link last night, I put it in for PM, and AM was supposed to be there. Just another Ukraine. What's going on? So not Russia. Very different from Russia. Yeah. So the problem is, we should not have AM and PM, I would think, right? No AM and PM. Just do I would never get confused with the 24, 23 time. But yeah, it was a little confusing here. So sorry. But the good news, Elena, how are you? The good news is that there might be fewer people here though. So if you want to ask some questions, and I know it's early here, and it's early for Raphael, but not so early for France. What? It's in the afternoon in France, right? This is a good time. And sorry, I have a honey lozenge that I'm just finishing up, so my voice will be prime to answer questions. So fire away if you would like to ask questions. I thought Bob the Canadian, some of you were in his chat. That was a lot of fun with the different rooms of the house. And if you wait until after this chat, there will be a video that I made yesterday, and with 2 subscribers, questions from them. Nori, not sure if she is here, and Naima. They were both in Bob the Canadian's chat, but some really good questions about how Americans heat their house. And I go through my house and show you how we heat our house. It's actually with 2 different fossil fuels, unfortunately, propane and oil. But I show you where the oil and the propane come into the house and then how we heat that. So she asked some really good questions. Oh, Raphael. Yeah, I think that boomers like myself, we don't really use that, but I believe that stands for something. I think that stands for something, doesn't it? Vyacheslav. Well, so in the United States, if you look at the numbers, you would think it's pretty bad, and it is in certain parts of the United States. Luckily in my state, because the US is so big, in my state, and we have a small population, about 1 million people, it's not that bad. Not that bad. I mean, we lose people every day, on average one death from COVID-19 every day in my state. But it could be a whole lot worse. So there are Aroni's. He never told me how to say it last night, so I'm going to continue to say it wrong. There are not as many cases in my state as there are in like New York, New York's cases are getting better. But shake my head. Thank you, Jamie. Jamie's a little younger than I am, so she would probably understand that better. She's 3 months younger than I am. So she's not quite a boomer, but I am. Yeah, so the whole COVID thing. But I think most Americans realize that as we open back up, our cases will rise. So the idea is that we're trying to keep our economy going, protect our most vulnerable, but there are a lot of people that are out of work right now. So it's not a great situation, but it could be worse. So we're not New York or Belgium or the UK or Italy or Spain. So shake my head. Oh, okay. Maybe this is a visual. So at least I know this part. My eyes are watering. Sorry. Early here. Shake my head, it just means like you can't believe somebody said that. So, like Aroni just said, I got mixed up with AM, PM. He might shake his head like he can't believe it. Be like, oh. That's kind of the face you make when you SMH, I guess. You just don't know. Sometimes you just throw your hands up like, that's shake your head. You have no words. I do that to myself often. I can't believe some of the things that I have done. Oh, Luis. I might have been trying to wake up. I missed that part about the rug. If you could repeat that. But somebody in the chat did ask something about the difference between. Oh, I know what it is. Lie like a rug, right? Didn't he say that? Rugs and carpets are pretty much the same thing, but rugs are always smaller. Rugs can be moved around the room if you want. And carpet, we usually say wall-to-wall carpet, right? It goes from one wall to the other, wall-to-wall carpet. So that's usually how it goes. Rugs are smaller, carpets are larger, same material. And the other thing he was talking about is lie. You lie like a rug. Lie like a rug. So this is both a simile, but it's also a pun, because lie, that word is being used two ways. And when we do that, we call it a pun. So lie like a rug means you can lay the rug flat. Some people might say you lay a carpet or you lie carpet, and then not telling the truth. So those are the two ways that lie like a rug is used. And we would say that about someone who is always lying. You lie like a rug. I hope that helps. Judith. Yeah, and actually, that's a great point. And Aroni and I were actually talking about this before. There was a video that circulated out of Milan that mostly young people were dancing, right? They were just dancing, having a party, thinking this is over. And I think, what's going on? You weren't in Bob the Canadian's chat. I was wondering where you were. So I worry. A lot of people in the United States, and it looks like in Italy too, feel that this thing is over. And it's not by a long shot. I worry that people are going to think, we did it. And then we will see our numbers start to climb. I mean, right? Is that what most people are thinking? I think so. And it's just some people that might not be educated or something like that. I don't know. I worry. We can't let our guard down. We say that in English when we still have to be careful of something. well, we can't let our guard down with this COVID-19. I believe that. Naima, what is going on? Thank you for the questions. Your video, I think there are 4 from Nori and then 2 from you, Naima. So, and I thank you in the video. I'm thanking you now. Great questions. They really helped the video. I was going to do more questions from that BuzzFeed article. If you saw the original video I did with questions that Americans are asked. And then I had 6 really good questions from you guys, and it turned into a 20-minute video. I tried to edit it down. I hope it's not too long, but let's see, what is it? What is else? Oh, shake my head. Yeah, I would say Luis. Yeah, same thing. Let's go backpacking. Yeah, it just means you're, both of them, going for a hike. It just means you're going out in the woods for a period of time. You should probably take a bag. You might get hungry. Put some snacks in there. Put some water. Both mean the same thing. Ooh, Elena. I don't know if you saw the video I did last night. That was tough. And I did it kind of quickly. It was like clinch, and cling. This is another one of those where seek and sick. So seek has a much longer E than sick. I know it's an I there, but it's almost like a short E sound. Sick. You're welcome. Seek and sick. Seek and sick. Rafael. No, you could say that. You could say that. Excuse me, you don't have a larger size, do you? Yeah, you could say that. And yeah, you used a little question tag there. Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect. You could also say, do you have this? Something like that. Both work. Nice job using the question tag there. Oh, Yusef. All right. Sorry about that. We will do it at a different time tomorrow. It'll be more like noon for me. It'll be about 3.5 hours later tomorrow. Ah, it's a good one right there. Pull the rug out from under me. That means you were caught by surprise. Somebody pulled a fast one on you. Pulled a fast one. So if you pull the rug out from someone, and it means you took them by surprise. Maybe you lied to them. Maybe you turned out to be a different person than they thought you were. So pulled the rug out. It literally, if you did that to someone, they would fall down. And that is how it might feel if someone, what's the word? I'm thinking of disobeys, but it's not. It basically like ruins your trust, like makes you distrust them. So pull the rug out. It's a good one, Jamie. Good one. Oh, what about a mat? That's a great question. Great question. Because you might think they're almost the same. A mat and a rug. They're both very small things that you put on the ground. A rug is going to be more decorative. Different word there. Decorative. It's describing something that you can decorate with. So it's going to be prettier. It's going to be nicer to look at, the rug. A mat is usually for maybe getting the mud off your shoes when you come in. We often say doormat. we often stamp on the doormat, and you might hear something like, walked all over me like a doormat. And that is when you treat somebody badly, that you take advantage of them, you don't appreciate them. Maybe you pulled the rug out from someone. So mats are just for a simple job, and that is to clean boots, shoes when you walk into a house. Now, we should be like our friends in Russia and just take our shoes off when we enter a house. I really like that custom in Russia, and I wish the US would adopt that more often. But many people, maybe 50%, feel that it's okay to walk through someone's house with their shoes on. Or they might ask you, hey, do you mind if I take these shoes off? Or do you mind if I keep my shoes on? Not really. The only difference between amazement and amazing is one is a noun and one is an adjective. So amazement would be the noun form, and then if you're describing someone or something as amazing, that's the only difference. But they're both good things, and they're both like, you almost can't believe it. That fireworks show was amazing. I was in amazement after watching the fireworks show. That can be taken to mean you are fired. I don't know, Luis. I don't think we use that bit of slang in the United States, to be honest. Let me try to read that again. Luis. I love that name. Luis. And I have to do the song. I have to do the finger. Luis. Whenever I speak in a slightly different language. Luis. That can be taken to mean you are fired. No, I don't think so. That can be taken? I'm not sure, Luis. I'm not sure. I did a video on euphemisms for firing people, and there are a lot. There are a lot of different ways we try to find a better way to say someone is fired. They were let go. We might say that. They were let go. They were laid off. But I don't think that is one of them. Between a rock and a hard place. I'm almost thinking of doing a video where I talk about Catch-22 a little more formally. Sometimes a little bit of swearing here, but damned if you do, damned if you don't. So rock in a hard place, Catch-22, damned if you do, damned if you don't, all mean the same thing. You have in a situation at least two options, and both of them are bad. And the Catch-22 comes from this situation. It's a famous novel by Joseph Heller, I believe, and it's about a pilot who has been shot down in a war, I think, and his arm is caught is caught under some wreckage of the plane, and nobody is coming to save him. So his arm is stuck. This is the Catch-22. This is damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. He cannot get out. He's stuck under this plane. So he's got two choices. He can either starve to death and wait, or he can cut off his arm to free himself from that wreckage and possibly find help. But either way, he is caught between a rock and a hard place. There's no easy solution. He's in a Catch-22, or he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. I mean, there's just no good way about that. Yes, I'll say it like Bob the Canadian says, Deekshant, welcome from India. And I will try to learn how to spell Missouri, but there are just some parts of India. I think a lot of Americans don't realize India is not just one place. It's vast. It's vast. Of course, when you have over a billion people, many different languages, many different religions. The dialect that I have the most trouble understanding is the Irish accent, I guess. But when it comes to, because I've lived in several different places in the United States, I think that helps. That both Jamie, my wife. Oh, if you're new here, by the way, don't forget to hit subscribe. And Jamie is my wife, and you might see her in the chat sometimes. We've lived both in the North and the South, where some dialects might be difficult to understand. So I feel that our ears are tuned in with those. Some Americans might say they have a hard time understanding people from the South. And the West really speaks much like the North anyway. So I have no problem. I have no problem. But the Irish, it's a little bit difficult. I do listen to a podcast by some Irish guys, and we've talked about it. I think Raphael, they're called Those Conspiracy Guys, but they have an Irish accent. I don't have trouble with them, but some Irish accents I do. Let's see. Okay, so there are a few questions. I was Mary from Iran. How are you? We just says stupid. I'm not sure why. Let me see. Whoa. What? Oh, Ralphie, what's going on, man? What's the proper way to use remember, remind, and recall? Okay, so those are all extremely similar, all having to do with some information you received a while ago, and you're trying to recall it. So I will use them all in different sentences, but they're pretty much the same. You could say, do you remember my name? When you're meeting somebody, and I don't know how many of you do this, but when you first meet somebody and they say their name, I'm so worried about not messing up meeting them. We're not shaking hands anymore, are we? That I forget their name. So do you remember my name? And then you might say, I don't. Can you remind me? So that's a different way you would use remind. So you might be asking the person for the information. Hey, can you remind me, what did we have for dinner last night? I cannot remember. And then recall is a lot like remember. And sometimes we just say simple recall, where you'll try to remember something. I hope that makes sense. Those words are so close. I would say that remember and recall are definitely the closest, or the closer of the three. Yeah. Aroni, about that, are they all young people? Because in the video that I saw, like, they were mostly in their early 20s. And, that's why we is saying stupid, I hope. Maybe. Whoa. Aaliyah, welcome. I don't even know if that's a word, one of those. So clinch, clanch, and clean. Yeah, is clanch? I don't think a clanch is a word. It almost sounds like another word, though. Clamp. My gosh. English. Who invented this language, by the way? It's just... I wonder if Deekchant speaks Hindi. I do have a book on learning Hindi. That, I think, would be very difficult for English speakers. Hindi. Just like if you're a native Hindi speaker, it must be difficult to understand English. Totally different writing system. And Arabic. I know some of you live in Algeria, so pretty amazing. Arabic. But I mean, English is, I know, widely spoken in parts of India. Mary, I am well. Oh, Naima, so kind, thank you. Yeah, as a native English speaker, I actually like watching Bob the Canadian's videos. It's very entertaining. Um, so I'm stalling sometimes because I'm trying to read the Italian that Matteo is saying, but I think they're pretty much saying the same thing we are. It's unfortunate. Hey Brent. Okay, let's see. Swami, how are you? Welcome. If you're new here, I must say, don't forget to hit subscribe button. I think it's my little picture in the corner. You hit that, boom, you're subscribed. You have been subscribed. And we go live every day. Every day during the quarantine, I try to go for an hour live answering questions like this. Yesterday, I went for 2 hours, actually. One was unplanned. You can say both, Swami. You could say 123. You could say 123. As if you're talking about a number that's more than 100, you could say 123 or 123. It works. The same way with if I add a digit here, you could say 1,123 or you could say 1,123. Oh, I mentioned Starbucks in my video that is coming up after this, and I don't know. I know venti is 20 in Italian, and grande is large. I don't know I don't know the coffees though. I don't even know what a small is. Sorry, I don't drink coffee. Oh, Tan, how are you? You're late. It's all right. Welcome. There is no topic. There is no topic. Some people have asked that I do a topic sometimes, and I do, but I think most of the time it's better if you ask me questions. I can answer them, hopefully, and that way you, the viewers, the subscribers, are driving the instruction. That's what we try to do in our classes in the United States is have students drive the instruction. They steer where we go because I already know English, but I might not know what you need. So that's why I try to just have it pretty open. Sometimes later in the day, for me at least, I will have a topic and I talk about it, but no topic today. Ooh, what's the difference between azot? What's the difference between slide and slip? I would say not much. Not much. Like if you use it the wrong way, nobody will correct you. But there is a different motion. Slide is a little smoother. So you might have, let's see, I'm a little hungry right now. So you might have some, excuse me, coffee, maybe. I'm thinking coffee too. Slide, it might slide down your chin. If you're a messy drinker, get a napkin. But slip, it might be a little bit quicker. Slip, almost like it's catching. I think I spelled that correctly. Catching. I think I got the T in there. So slide is a little more smooth, and slip might be a little quicker. But both have something to do with falling. Rag and Matt. Have we talked about rag? We haven't talked about rag. So rag would be a little bit, so I guess in the different like little things you can put on the floor, a rug would be pretty decorative. A mat would be very useful. And then a rag would be even less than that. We often use rag for something that can almost be thrown away. So a rag. If you had a rag on the floor just to kind of wipe off people's shoes, it would be less than a mat. A rag would not last long, I don't think. That's a good point, though. Rag. I'm a little distracted by the Italian. I'm glad that I actually know what everybody's talking about. Matteo and Aroni. The coming days. That just means in the next couple days. Maybe not even a week, because we could say in the coming weeks. Maybe in the coming weeks, we will see our cases rise in the coming weeks. In the coming days, you would think maybe 4, 5 days from now. So you might say, oh, in the coming days, I am returning to work. So maybe you don't know exactly the day, but it's within 3 or 4 days, 5 days, something like that. Good question. Oh, whoa, Azat, is that you? Both? So coming days and passing days. Nice. That's the opposite. Passing days. So it's in the last few days. Coming days, passing days. I hope that makes sense. Yes, I can. Could I please make a statement with paramount and overpowering? Yeah. Paramount is like the most important thing. It is paramount that you turn your homework in on time. Paramount. Out of all of the things, put this thing as most important. Okay? It is paramount that I get some sleep tonight. Paramount. Very important. Overpowering is, you might say, overwhelming as well. Overwhelming is a good, if you're familiar with that word, overwhelming. So it's just something that has a lot of power and it overtakes you. It's too much. So let's talk about sleep again. Maybe you're on the couch and you're studying for that exam that you have to turn in, but the sleep is just too overpowering and you can't help but fall asleep. I hope that helps, Mary. Oh, Azat, I had this yesterday. I answered this yesterday. Azat, I don't live in Portland, but I live close to Portland. And so if you're new, I live in the state of Maine, which is 2 hours north of Boston. And I've said this before too, but I know there might be some new people. In the United States, we will often say that Boston is 2 hours from me. And what we mean is if you get in a car and you do the speed limit, you will get to Boston in about 2 hours from my house. New York City is about 6 hours south of me, southeast. Whoa, Naima. Did you use discombobulated? Or maybe Aaliyah likes using discombobulated. That's a good one. Discombobulated. I was definitely discombobulated when I saw that my live stream was scheduled for 12 hours from now. Discombobulated. It means you're out of sorts. They might say that in Britain. If you're out of sorts, you're just a little confused. You don't feel quite right. Leah, is that how you feel often? Discombobulated? Hey, Aaliyah, right? Take off your shoes. Take off your shoes. Well, think about it. Your shoes, and there are some cultures that don't have dogs at all, and I can see that. But, there might be dog crap. Crap. That's a good word. Crap. Just sounds dirty, doesn't it? Yeah, you could be walking and you get some dog crap on your shoes and you don't know it, and then you're walking all through somebody's house. Take your shoes off. Maybe after the coronavirus ends, that will be my new crusade for the American people. Take off your shoes. Hashtag take off your shoes. Vierslav. Custom and habit, I wouldn't say they're interchangeable. A habit, you might do and you want to change it. You could have a bad habit. So both are things that are done often, almost on a schedule maybe, but habit comes and goes. Maybe this year you have a bad habit of chewing your nails, or you have a habit of getting a coffee every morning. Doesn't have to be bad, but customs last longer. Like families may have customs, religions may have customs. So they're a little bit different there, I would say. Oh, there's some very highbrow chat. Highbrow chat going on in this chat. I heard discombobulated and sophisticated. Sophisticated. Nice. I like it. Highbrow means posh. You might hear that in British English. Posh. Very posh. Saw James Franco. So I'm moving up through the chat, trying not to miss anything. If I do miss your question, it's not because I didn't want to answer it. It is because I'm a boomer and I can't handle technology very well. So if I miss your question, please ask it again. If it's a question that I can't answer, I promise, I will tell you. Can't answer that. All right, I think I missed something because Mary is talking about James Franco, but I didn't see where that came from. Yeah, this is a great question, Wilson. Wilson, what's going on from Hello Talk? Ecuador? Ecuador? Venezuela? I can see the flag on your profile picture, but I don't remember exactly where you're. I know it's somewhere in the Americas, South America. Welcome, Wilson, again. All right, spree. There are some good sprees. Maybe you could go on a shopping spree, which maybe you spend the afternoon shopping. You might be buying things as well, but a shopping spree. Unfortunately, there are some shooting sprees that often make the news. And a shooting spree is when a lot of people are killed by someone with a gun. Shooting spree. So those are the only two that I can think of. But it's when the same activity is done right in a row, over time, repeatedly. Spree. It's a good question. Oh my gosh. I don't know if Jamie's answered this. I think I might be a little bit behind, but Jamie and I, Azat, we love Jackie Brown. Pam Grier, the actress who plays Jackie Brown, is amazing. Love it. I love it when, it might be Lewis. It's Samuel L. Jackson's character. It's dark, and he has a knife to her throat. And I can't remember the line she said. I think she swears, so of course I couldn't say it anyway. But whoa, that's a great movie. Great movie. I think it's one of Jamie's favorites, actually. Oh no. Rock in a hard place? Was that difficult for you? Oh, there's smiley faces. So, and if I don't explain it well enough for you, please ask it again. I will try to find another way to explain it. Oh, Ralphie. Oh, Ralphie. Ralphie. So the thing about my students that I work with in the classroom in the United States, they are all English speakers. They're all native English speakers, or most of them. So it would be very hard for me to compare them, different age, totally immersed in the culture, compared to someone living in another country. We sometimes have students who move to our area from other countries. Age depends a lot on it. So totally immersed, there are a lot of students who speak pretty good English within 2 years of coming to this country. But remember, they are totally bombarded. They are overpowered by English. It is just, so it's difficult to say. All right. All right, Luis. By chance. Oh, is it a joke? No. No, by chance means it was unplanned. So you might be walking down the street and you meet a friend by chance. You didn't know they were going to be there. So it just was lucky that it happened, just by chance. Hope that makes sense. Oh, your sister, I've heard about this sister. I've heard about her. Is she younger than you? I think she was spamming in the chat. We sister. We're on to you. Sorry, let me guess. It's a little sister. If you don't know, he is 14 years old. And I can only imagine little sister is bugging. It's little. I know it's not older. Correct me if I'm wrong. Younger sister. Deekshant is, the Irish. And just like any, dialect, the more you hear, the more your ear will get in tune with it. So it's probably just because I haven't heard a lot of people from Ireland speak. It's probably it. I did take a fascinating class in college, one of my favorites, and it is called The Irish in America. Amazing. After the potato famine, the United States had a lot of immigrants from Ireland migrate to the United States. Luis, I will probably pronounce these better than I pronounce your name and Aroni's name. I will do my best to pronounce these though. Length and width. Width is a tough one. Length, width. And to get around the width, you can just say, oh, how wide is it? Just change it to wide. Width. Doesn't even sound like an English word. It sounds like an old English word. Yeah, Leah, that's a good one. Recall. We try not to, as teachers in the United States, we try now not to give our students work that is simple recall, simple memorization. We would rather them work out the problems. So recall in teaching in the United States is frowned upon. We try not to do that. How do you use these words? Wow. Tau. Push and pull. Oh, that was try to. All right. So push and pull are the opposites. So we do a movement like this for push. You might push someone away. Maybe they're too close. Maybe they got into your bubble. Maybe they got into your personal space. Little kids talk about this. I think Bob the Canadian did a video on bubbles or personal space. So you might push someone out of your personal space. Maybe if you want someone closer, you might pull them to you. So you bring them closer. come and go. Go is usually away, but you could honestly come to someone's house. I mean, go and come are often opposites, but come is such a difficult word. Like, we sometimes say this though. Let's say two people arrive at a party at the same time. One person is right in the hallway, right? Maybe their shoes are just near them. They're not on and they're not off. And another person is arriving, but they can't tell. Are they just arriving at the party? Are they about to leave? So you might say to that person, oh, are you coming or are you going? Meaning, am I going to get to see you for a little while or do you have to leave? So come and go are often opposites, but not always. Come gets a little bit tricky. What's the difference between roof and rooftop? Not much. Not much. We pretty much use those interchangeably. In fact, I think we just use roof so we don't have to say that extra syllable at the end. Well, Ralphie, that is the idea that I got into the Italian learning thing before I got into the English teaching to people learning English, if that makes any sense. But I think it's really helpful for me to go through the same process that you guys are going through and realizing some of the struggles of acquiring a new language. I started learning Italian because it's just fun to do. That's why a lot of English speakers learn other languages, is because it's fun. But I also thought it would help my native English speakers if I tried to learn completely from scratch in a different language. It's not completely from scratch because I can read in another language, but I try to use some of those techniques to help my native students. And I really haven't learned any techniques yet, simply because you all are better language learners than I am. If you can understand most of what I am saying in this chat, you're way better at English than I am at Italian. But one thing that's really helping me now is listening to native Italian speakers. So, and I learned that from another guy that I watch on YouTube, and his name is Steve Kaufman. And he says that the key to learning language is reading and listening, which I do a lot of. I'm hoping the speaking will come eventually. But I think you guys know better than I do that the speaking part is the toughest part of learning a language, I would think. Swami, thank you for subscribing. I might be a little slow in the chat. I'm sorry if I did. Thoughtfully. We is wondering thoughtfully? Yeah, you use a lot of thought. Maybe, Mother's Day is coming up. Mother's Day in the United States is Sunday. And it's a bit difficult to shop right now, but it would be helpful if I picked out a gift, more importantly, my children, right? Picked out a gift for Jamie. They did it thoughtfully. Thoughtfully. With a lot of thought, with a lot of care. Have I ever met any Hollywood stars or singers? Have I ever met? I don't know. Have I ever met? Probably none that you would know. So I don't think so. No. Jamie, I don't know. I don't think we have. Random is a great word. Ralphie says it's his favorite. Paramount. Paramount Pictures. Yep. Then they have the Aaliyah is saying they have the there is Paramount Pictures. I don't even know if they're around anymore, but yeah, they were like the most important pictures. And Paramount, they had a top of a mountain. So Paramount, like the highest part, you know. But random is great. We use random in slang quite a bit. So we'll just say, some random guy just started talking to me. Random. Yeah, gaming, in the gaming world, if there are any gamers, Fortnite, if you ever play that game, or any game where there's a room, a lobby, you might just pick up random people to play with. Randoms, they call them. It's a good one. Are there connotations? Are there any different? Now, these pretty much all mean the same, Sergey. Copy that. Roger that. I got it. Nope. All three are just letting that person know you understand. Uh-oh. Baby girl, what happened? Roni. Thank you, sir. Ooh, difficult one here. Undergo and undertake. So, they are different. And right off the top of my head, let me use them this way. You might undergo a surgery. You might undergo some sort of medical treatment. I've talked about my friend. He's doing well, the one that has colon cancer, but he had to undergo chemotherapy. He will be doing that for a while. Undertake is maybe you might take on a project that you want to do. For example, maybe it's been your goal to undertake some extra lessons in learning English. Or you can undertake some sort of project, maybe on YouTube, like I'm doing. I've been undertaking this project of trying to grow my channel and teach people English. Undertake. A little bit different there. I hope that helps. Oh, somebody is in, excuse me, somebody is in love with a word. I hope it's random. Was that Ralphie? All right, Nicholas, I hope I'm not skipping too many. My chat got a little mixed up. Simple recall would be remembering somebody's name. It's not anything too deep. Maybe you have to learn the capitals of the 50 states. It's simple memorization, simply memorizing something. You don't have to explain it. Recall. Let me see here. In about 5 minutes, I got to get going because that video that you will see Naima in and Nori in, but you won't see them. I will just answer questions from them. It would have been nice if I had the technology to actually call over to Algeria and get Naima on the phone with the video, whatever. Maybe one day I'll figure that out. Uh-oh. Mary, 127 hours exactly. And I don't know, that I think is based on a real story. So Catch 22 is fictional. But yeah, the part that he played, whoa, wasn't it? Sylvia. Wow, some big words here. Sylvia is talking about superfluous. Superfluous. I think yesterday's word, and I might have gotten that wrong, somebody said, was magnanimous. Magnanimous. Superfluous. I think it is extra. Superfluous is not exactly necessary, but I'm not sure. Superfluous. I do know how to pronounce it, and it is superfluous, which is kind of fun to say. Or maybe somebody asked about superfluous and I didn't see it. Ridiculous. That's a good word too. Yeah. Nailed it. Nailed it. Aaliyah nailed it right there. Oh, why is it 100? I'm gonna get rid of the smiley face. It's saying it's too long. Boom. That's perfect. Nailed it. If you were ever wondering how to do tell the difference between ridiculous and awkward, nicely done. Boomer. Aroni. Thank you, Aroni. So while I am not technically a boomer, it comes from a joke that some of my students who are 13 actually think I'm a boomer. And I'm not, like Aroni said. I'm not. My mom is a boomer. They're in their 70s and 80s now. I'm in my 40s. But to very young people, maybe even we, do you think I'm a boomer? Am I a boomer? Of course, 8 years old, little sisters. Do you have a lock on the door? Do you have a lock? I bet, and you know what? I bet because she is so young, her English is pretty good. Oh, Azat, did you see? Yeah, Azat, I'm working my way up through the chat, and I think it was Aaliyah who nailed the difference between ridiculous and awkward. And silly, let's use Wee's sister. I hope she's watching. Silly is just some harmless stuff. And I bet she's just being silly, trying to mess with Wee's computer. It's expensive, Wee's sister. We need to know Wee's sister's name so we can call her out for being silly. Naima, are you seriously talking about capitulated? Capitulated. That's a fun word to say too. Capitulate. Vierschlaf is wondering, do incoming and oncoming, wow, do they mean the same? Possibly. But I think the most common way to use like oncoming could be traffic. If you're traveling, and actually in my video, I talk about the roads. And Nori asked a question about American roads. Oncoming traffic would be when you can see their headlights. That would be oncoming. And incoming might be an email. You might have an incoming email. You might have an incoming phone call. So it's difficult to say how they're different, but maybe with those two examples, you would understand because they are slightly different. Ralphie, yes. I think I gave some examples of undertake already. Highbrow and posh. Yes. So, Kamel, how are you? Let's talk about highbrow and posh. Let's talk about some people who are highbrow and posh, what they might do. They might drink their tea. They might have a smug look on their face. They might talk like this. They might have their tea. And they might only go to the opera. Movies. It's below them. They might look down on people, the little people. Posh. Always have to dress up when they go out. And they look down on the help. The people who are serving them food. Highbrow. Posh. Hope that helps, Judith. So I'm reading some. I hope that helps. All right, did we get to... There's no way that I've gotten to the end of all the questions. I think it's just because I've... Oh, Mary said she has to go. Bye, Mary. Thank you for joining again. And I know there are some people who have apologized. Oh, I'm sorry I missed your chat. Don't worry about it. I go every single day. So it will be hard for you to make every single one. But Cecilia is here. Welcome. Trying to get a last Couple questions. Oh no, Ralphie. I hope I get everything right. Naima has a notebook. Ralphie has a notebook. I'm pretty sure screw the pooch. I think we say that. When we mess up, you can say screw the pooch. Don't ask what that means. But I think I screwed the pooch yesterday on Magnanimous. And some people corrected me. So thank you for that. Learner 96 is in here. Welcome, man. All right. Oh, Nicholas, I saw the exam that you shared, but I did not want to look at that. That looked too intense for my eyes right there. I did. Sylvia, superfluous? I don't know if we would call people superfluous. Maybe, but definitely objects. Or sometimes on tests, they give you some superfluous information that is meant to distract you from the real question. So we might use it with items and not necessarily people, I don't think. Uh-oh, that video, I think, is it premiering now? I should probably go. I want to watch that. And it's a long one. It's like 20 minutes. But thank you all for joining. I'm going to head over to my video. If you enjoyed what we did today and you haven't subscribed, subscribe. We'll do it again tomorrow. All right? Right after Bob the Canadian's chat tomorrow. Thank you all for joining.